So I wanted to make a video just completely off the cuff. I just drove home from the gym before. I'm gonna make my dinner now. And I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and make this video about something that's really important to me, because I don't think it gets spoken about enough. Especially I'm making these YouTube videos for mostly men, young men, it can be women as well, but mostly young men who were just like me 5 to 10 years ago, who I knew what I wanted when I was a younger man. I knew that I wanted to make something of myself, and the world that we live in today in 2025, where we have so much messaging and social media and pressure, especially for someone who's an ambitious type, there's this like underlying feeling that if we don't become something that we think we should, or that we think we can, or that we see that we compare ourselves to, then we aren't anything. We aren't important. We don't have any sort of importance or relevance in life. And this has been a long journey for me, because I'm 34 now, and as a 20-something-year-old young man, even when I was a teenager, like I've always been an ambitious type. I've always had the big dreams, and I've always wanted bigger things for myself. I didn't know what they were, but in my mind, success looked like supercars, money, girls, status, those kinds of things. And so I would start the journey of going out and getting those things. And I had no fucking idea how I was going to do it. I just knew that I wanted it. Now let's try and test doing two things at once. And as I was driving home from the gym, I took like a 3 to 4 day hiatus off Instagram, which I think it's highly underrated that people don't talk about enough, where it's like social media has a strong hold on it. It's the way that we live now. It is our world now. It is our reality. Social media is where you show up to market yourself and show yourself as your own brand. And what you show on that app is evidently what you tend to want to become, or you show the best parts of your life and what you want to become. And I took I think it was 3 or 4 days. And to me, that seemed like a lot, because like I'm on that app fucking way too much. Sorry, I hope you can hear me overdoing this. And through the time that I had off, I really thought about, I've been back in therapy for the last 2 months, and I've really wanted to understand like why I feel there's a certain unhappiness and emptiness to my world that I haven't been able to put my finger on for a long time. And in the last couple of months, the profound realization is that I've built a life of status, of achievement, of becoming something, and wanting to make something of myself so much that anything that was my baseline authentic self was suppressed to be able to try and become this person. And you see it everywhere on social media, where it's like, it's quotes and it's fucking motivational music with people training in the background, and it's become a millionaire and disappear for this amount of time so that you can come back leading the pack of fucking wolves, or whatever that bullshit saying is. And like, I've always thought that there's something really cringy to that. There is elements of it being motivational, I don't disagree, but I think there's really cringy elements to it where I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like seriously, I think I've lived on this earth long enough to know now about like how half of that shit is just so wanky. Like a lot of it's true, but I think a lot of it is just a fucking wank fest. Anyway, that's beside the point. My point is that the authenticity piece of when you're striving to achieve big things is enormously important. And I know this because I discovered that through trying to become something of myself, and don't get me wrong, I have exceeded what I thought I was capable of. I really have. I've exceeded everything that I thought I could achieve. I've done better. I've always wanted to have, like, all right, here was the trifecta, right? The trifecta for me was I think it was like when I was younger, I was like, have a 6-pack and like have abs and like be really muscly. And then it was I think it was like, I just wanted to make enough money so that I could go out and buy a supercar and live on my own autonomously so that I didn't have to answer to anybody. I could have that sort of freedom. And the third one, it was around getting girls and stuff. And I just don't really feel comfortable going into that right now. But like the trifecta of things, and of all three, like I achieved more than I thought I ever could. And the funniest part was once I got there, which wasn't too long ago, I was only probably, I don't know, early 30s, I would say. But maybe I hit 30, 31, I think. And I was doing something like $500,000 a year, and I'd moved into my own place finally. I had no one to answer to, and I had enough money to go and buy whatever car that I really wanted at the time. Maybe not something really expensive like a Lambo, but like any other really nice car that you could think of, like a BMW M2 or a C63 AMG or whatever. Like I could have gone and done it, which I didn't do. And I could, and then what was the other thing? It was like the body. Like I've been training for all my life, and I think I'm in really good shape now. And I've gotten to this place and I'm like, okay, so where's all the happiness I thought I'd have? And like this, it's been one of the most hard-hitting realizations to know that happiness isn't derived from your achievements. That's only one aspect, and that's only one part of the pie. When I realized that I had actually pushed and suppressed down who I really am and what actually I find the most joy in and what I get the most pleasure from, like I hardly even know what those things are now because of how much I've optimized my life for achievement. And I'm on like the low level of achievement. Like a lot of people would kill to have what I have, absolutely, and I've worked really hard to get it. But in terms of like success or whatever you want to call that, like I'm talking from a place of like, compared to some people, I'm a peasant compared to some people. Like I don't do that well, but I'm in like the top of percentile of like achievement when it comes to what I think most ambitious people would try and achieve. And I can objectively say that. It's like not just like blowing smoke up my own ass. Like I'm proud of what I've achieved, but now that I'm here, I don't really have anything else that I'm like, yeah, I want to go and get like $1 million a month or anything like that. I don't fucking care that much. Like what I care more so about now is optimizing my life for the things that I enjoy. And I'm like trying to find what they are now. I'm like, I have a journal. Like I have a journal that I write in every day now. I never did that shit because I thought it was woo-woo and weird. But like I'm trying to like go through the process of finding myself now. And I think the reason I'm making this video is because it's not to say this is the caveat. It's not to say don't go out if you're a young man or woman and you want to achieve big things for yourselves. It's not to say don't go and do that. But what I think is really important, I haven't even fucking done anything here, but it's because I can't do two things at once. Obviously. It's not to say don't go out. I need to make this point. It's to say that along the way, make sure that you don't lose yourself in the process. Don't become so obsessed with achievement and perfection and non-negotiables and all this sort of stuff and ignore like the voice inside of your head and the feeling inside of your stomach and the warmness inside your heart that tells you the direction that you need to head. A lot of the time there's the two different voices about like what you must do to be able to push through, like the Alex Hormozi, don't quit, just fucking ignore your feelings, work and until your fucking face falls off. There's always that aspect. And I think that's relevant in certain aspects of things like business, absolutely, or training in the gym or whatever, if that's a value of yours. But I think when it comes to like what you feel in your body, what you feel in your heart, what you feel in your head, what you feel in your, like, that is you, that can't be replicated by somebody else. No one else has the answers to what you truly want out of your life. And it's nice to say that I don't have to answer to a boss. I don't have to get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I want to get hundreds of thousands of dollars and I have the perfect body that I've always wanted and those kinds of things. I'm telling you now that happiness doesn't exist there. The happiness and joy that I'm trying to find within myself now more so than ever. And I have life talking about this because I'm like, hopefully this helps someone else. And like, that's really one of my highest values is being able to pass on experiences and teaching. But I think the message that I want to send is don't lose sight of who you are and what the things are that make you who you are. And you'll know because you feel it. I ignored those feelings for the longest time. I ignored those feelings for the majority of the time, because I'm like, achievement, get out of debt, like don't be broke, don't be a pussy, get massive, date women, all this bullshit. And then you realize, wait a sec, like I did all that stuff and I was happier. This is funny. I felt more fulfilled and happier when I was doing it, when I was trying to work it out. And it was to get away from pain and into pleasure. And like that path is never linear to start with, but as you go along the journey, you realize that it's who you become along the way that is what matters. And I can say this from experience. And I think you hear that same message in different ways, but like I'm telling you firsthand from someone who's going through the process of trying to like find themselves. Fucking hell, that sounds weird, but honestly, it's the truth. To try and find themselves and trying to be the best version of myself. Oh my God, this fucking sounds lame, but trying to find my most authentic version of me. And I lost it along the way. I really did lose it along the way. I'm not afraid to say that because I think it's like, who else is going to share this kind of stuff? Really? I think probably more so now than ever. Like, I think more people are like becoming more vulnerable online and this kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. Like, I think when it comes to like this day and age, I've fallen out of touch with like all the motivational self-help stuff, in a sense of like, I think myself and others included can now spot who's for real and who's talking shit, because we've had enough time in the game to understand like how something feels to us. And I'm just saying, follow good people's advice, but do it in your way. Don't do it in the way that somebody else did it, because they just did it in the way that they wanted to be able to get to where they wanted to go. Still chase your dreams and all that kind of stuff. Don't lose yourself along the way. Don't listen to the voices in the back of your head saying, ignore that shit, push it down. And it's true of things like relationships. They'll show you everything you need to work on. But it's the same goes if you start a business. It will show you everything you need to learn to be able to get to the next stage of each thing. And like, I'm at a stage of my business where I'm just like, oh fuck, like I'm doing really well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm in a stage of my business where I'm like if I'm going to grow this thing, I got to like hire people and I want to do that. And I got to like learn acquisition better because I don't do much of that anyway. And I got like all this fucking crap that I'm just like, ugh, like that doesn't excite me. It's like, that's just the stuff I need to do if I want to be able to get to say X, Y, Z goal. And it's the same for fitness as well. It's like, I've built the body that I love, and now what else do I do? So I'm now trying to learn how to do the splits. Because it's like, that's more fun than just doing a bicep curl. Bicep curls are fucking boring. Like, I couldn't care less about a bench press. I couldn't care less about how many fucking squats I can do or whatever. Like, I'd rather learn something new that works into the values that actually suit me to be able to get to where I want to go. Anyway, I'm waffling now. So I hope that was somewhat helpful, because I've done nothing with my dinner and I'm really hungry. So I'm going to stop the video now, I think. Yeah, that'll do. Like and subscribe or whatever. Yeah.